Everybody to the dance floor.
This is a dangerous group, and the groups that we're dealing with now.
Come on, equal to the beat, yo.
Fillers, you know us well, we're SOL, so we be the illest.
How would you break?
With the mic in our hands, we feel like Moses taking y'all up to the promised land.
How would you break?
We come through swiftly, strictly, giving us praise from now till infinity.
How would you break?
J lyricist, yeah. See, I'ma do it like David did it. Breaking so hard, moving hands up like he was feeling it. Dancing around people looking at me, thinking I'm crazy, but I'm doing my thing. Praising the Lord the way I want to, cause I know that he'll be down with it. Yo, I'm a praise kind of fella. See, I wrote this song with permission from Pastor Jane Fella. You can next my friend Stella.
I remember she said you could take the lyrics from the song to even preach the word better.
That's right, I'm a go-getter, not a bad player. In this game of soul winning, I'm on top, I never mind the weather. Because this gospel thing is off the chain. So exciting, that's why I give them all the praise. Yo, all that.
Yeah, I think we are live. So I hope I am audible. All right. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so today, good evening everyone, and today we're going to talk about focus, the first law, and the thoughts that I'm sharing in this book today and on this podcast are from the book If I Were to Live Again. I'll start by kind of like giving a scenario or describing a story from our young days. When we were young, there's a game we used to play that if you wanted to set a piece of paper on fire, typically to have to be black paper, you take a magnifying glass and use it to concentrate the light of the sun on the piece of paper, and after a while it gets hot, and then suddenly you find out that you're able to set fire to the paper. Now that can happen because you have focused energy that is so distant that typically would not burn you, but you manage to concentrate that energy on a particular spot. The expression focus, the first law of success, came from Pastor Osimiri. We were in church someday, and as he was teaching, he noticed somebody who wasn't paying attention, and he stopped his teaching abruptly and he pointed in that person's direction. I don't know who it was, and he repeated the phrase, focus. That's the first law of success. What does focus mean? Focus means concentrating your energies on what is relevant for your life. Now, in this life, there are opportunities come here and there. There are many opportunities, many things that people can do. People will bring many suggestions your way. You have so many friends who are thinking about their own lives, and they need people to help them achieve their own goals. You have so many people who are exploring certain opportunities, and they need your support to actualize their dreams. But you need to be aware that it's important that you yourself have your own set goals. You have your own set goals. Now, goals, you can think about them like your long-term vision. At the end of your life, what is it that you want to be known for? What is it that you want to be attributed to you? Now, the picture of that future determines what you get involved in your life. It determines what it is that you exert energy on. give a little deviation. As many of us have attended motivational speeches. You've read books that are written by people who are studying other people's successes, so to speak. And if you evaluate clearly, you find out that most of the times the people that are studied will come, among a few names that we know. Maybe you have Bill Gates, maybe you have Warren Buffett, maybe you have what is his name, Oprah Winfrey, maybe Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Aliko Dangote. I mean, if you call these names, you find out that if you think about it really, typically those are the names that will show up when somebody is trying to push you to do something they want you to do. They tell you that, look, I mean, you need to be like this person, you need to be like. But if you evaluate their own lives, you will discover that they have not become like that. By knowing about Jeff Bezos, by knowing his story, by knowing his ingenuity, by knowing about Bill Gates, by him dropping out of school, by following those steps, you don't necessarily become what they have become. I think that the reason is that our roles on the earth are different. Our roles on the earth are different. Most of the time, if you analyze the lives of different people who have become significant on the earth, their significance does not necessarily arise from the same set of steps. Their significance does not necessarily arise from the same set of steps. So it's not always correct to give a list of steps in any book, in any teaching, that implies that if you follow this set of steps, you will become like this kind of person. It's not necessarily that way. There are many more, in quote, forces at play in the outcomes that we see in people's lives than just following a set of steps. I'm saying this because these examples which I've mentioned, the examples of these names, they typically show up when somebody is trying to convince you to follow a line of activity that does not necessarily align with your personal vision. And that means that you have to have a personal vision. Otherwise, you will have people pushing you around to do what they want you to do because they discover that you do not understand what you want to do with your own life. And remember that our life is finite. So we do not have endless allotments of time to experiment with our lives. We do not have endless amount of times to explore every single possible opportunity. So we have to narrow our exploration to the set of opportunities that are aligned with our vision. We have to narrow our exploration of opportunities to that set of opportunities that are aligned with what we really want to be the eventual outcome of our lives to be. That's about focus. That is it. Understand, first of all, your role. It is not possible for everyone to be a billionaire. It is not possible for everyone to be a millionaire. If everyone was a millionaire, the word millionaire may no longer exist. If everyone was rich, the word rich may no longer exist because these are terms that are relative. You are rich when compared to another person. So you cannot assume that, oh, we want everybody to be a billionaire, we want everyone to be a millionaire. There are different roles that people have to play on the earth. So I mentioned this because these are the kind of mind games that people will typically play on you in order to get you to do something that is not consistent with your own path in life. Self-actualization, or the significance on the earth, is not necessarily about rising to the, in quote, echelons of society, like somebody used to say. So it's important that you align your pursuits with your own role on the earth and your own vision for your life. We have different roles to play. Now, typically, people will come to you with opportunities. Opportunities are great, and I want to mention here that the fact that an opportunity comes to you doesn't mean it is yours. Not all opportunities are for you. Not all opportunities are intended for you to exploit. You don't have to explore all opportunities that come your way. Otherwise, you will do what I call dissipation of resources. What are the resources of your life? Is a key resource of your life. Time is a key resource of your life. When you spend time on pursuits that are not consistent with your makeup, with your role on the earth, with your vision, you cannot recover that time. And you do not have anyone to blame for wasting that time, because whatever you are going to be pursuing has to be adding up. You need to make sure that it is adding up to what you eventually want to, in quotes, become. If it is not adding up, then you are wasting time. Another resource is energy, whether it is mental energy or physical energy. You find that you exert a lot of effort. You run here, run there, run here, this business, that business, this degree, that degree, this, and you're just running in so many directions, exerting a lot of energy, and yet these things are not, accumulating to the eventual realization of your vision on the earth. So you find yourself exerting energy, wasting mental energy, wasting time, wasting your physical energy. Another resource you could be wasting is money. This investment, that investment, this, that. Suddenly you find yourself, you spread yourself too thin. The depth you would have gained if you had focused on one particular item at a time, you are not gaining that depth. You find yourself, you have dissipated your energy, you have spread yourself out so much that the impact you could have made on one item, you are unable to make it at so many. That's the reality. And look at the lives of people that have become, in quote, significant. They become significant on a narrow set of items. There are so many things they can do. So many people out there we see, they are brilliant people. They can do sports, they can sing, they can teach, they can be businessmen and all, but we typically would know them for one or two things. Everybody who rises to a point of dominance, of significance on the earth is known for one or two things. And that is important for you to, because what sets them apart is their depth, not their width, not the spread of their activities, their depth. Those who own conglomerates that are touching many areas of life, you find that there is a key aspect of their personality that makes them able to accomplish that. Now, what I'm not necessarily saying you cannot multitask. Everybody asks you when you want to get a job whether you are able to multitask. I'm not necessarily talking about it being unable to multitask. The point is you need to be aligning your activities to things that add up to your eventual goal. You cannot do everything. You're human. You are not omnipotent. You do not have infinite resources, whether it is time or money or energy. So when you analyze your strength, analyze your role on the earth, and properly set your vision for life, you find out that set of things that you must be doing to add up to your goal. Now, when somebody brings an opportunity your way, the point is not to just discard it. The point is to evaluate the opportunity in the context of your goal, your personal vision. Don't let people pull you around. Don't let people push you around. Let people threaten you. You know, there are sometimes when people bring opportunities, it's like a threat. It's like, if you don't do this now, in fact, you'll be poor forever. If you don't do this now, you will not achieve your dreams. Oh, look at your father, look at your. I mean, it's no longer an opportunity; it's a threat on your life. So don't listen to threats. Analyze your capabilities. Analyze your personality. Analyze your role, the role you should be playing on the earth. Analyze the picture you have in your soul of your future, and determine which opportunities pertain to you. Not all of them. And another thing I want you to see clearly, because I want to call people to independent thinking. Don't just follow stories. If you analyze people's lives who have become significant on the earth, they did not all follow the same path. They did not all follow the same path. There are certain key principles you can say that these principles are, how do I put it, are key, or they are common principles that they could be attributed to all of them, but they did not all follow the same path. So the point is, do not listen to anybody that says, except you do this, you will not succeed at this. That is not necessarily true. One of the things I realized about education is that education studies what has already been. Listen carefully. Education is reiterating what has already happened, what has already been experimented, developed, executed. Academic studies things that industry has already done. So what happens is, whatever people are teaching you, they are teaching you something that probably has happened in the past, most of the time. So there are certain things that can still happen in the future that will be modifications or enhancements of what has happened in the past. So knowledge hasn't been exhausted. That's my point. So do not assume, or do not let anybody communicate to you the ideology that if you do not follow this method, you will not achieve this. So many outliers keep occurring from time to time. So many people that are doing things out of the box. So many modifications to the way we know things have been done. So don't let somebody constrain you to his own definition of the path of life. Define your path and seek opportunities that align with your path. Do not be pushed here and there, pulled here and there. Focus. The first law. Even if you must do several things over the course of your life, within a particular space of time, you have to focus your energies. That's how you become effective. You focus your energies on a particular set of things or a particular thing. This year you say, look, okay, I want to write a book, and you focus on it, give it the allotment of time it requires and energy, and you come out with a sound product. I want to invest on a business. Focus on one business, the amount of time, thinking, energy, money you need to put into it, identify what is required and focus on it. You can do that practice for chunks of time in your life. When you attempt to aggregate too many things for a specific chunk of time, what will happen is that you will spread yourself too thin, and you may find that you are not going to achieve any of them to a significant degree. That's the point. The point is not that you cannot do many things in your life, but it is use the chunks of time you have wisely to, deliver on each one of them one set at a time. Now, finally, before I go away, control. I want to talk about a little bit about control. When you have mentors, what mentors are supposed to be doing for you is to nudge you into actualizing your dreams, your goals, and to becoming the best person you can be. Any so-called mentor or teacher or pastor that is trying to make you become like them, or telling you that you must follow them if you want to become significant, he is no longer mentoring you. He's trying to control your life. And that is not the way sound development of humanity goes. There has to be a breakout from the normal way of doing things every now and then in humanity for new things to come out, for new things to break out, for new things to be born. So you cannot arrive at the conclusion that you must do things in a particular way each generation after generation. That is the point. Don't let anyone put you under their own constraints and control. Focus, first law. Identify the opportunities that are relevant to you. You have limited resources, whether it's time, money, or energy, and you have to employ them to deliver the results that you are supposed to deliver. Remember your role on the earth. Not everyone has the same role. Not everyone must end up the same way. Your significance is not necessarily about the amount of money you're able to accumulate. Your significance is if you have been able to explore your role on the earth to the degree, to a certain level of depth, makes the impact that will outlive you. Focus on it. Try to discover what it is that you want to make a mark about. Try to discover what it is that when we read the history books, we want to know about you. Those are the things that want to show up in your life. Think about that. So today, focus, the first law of success. Focus. Identify your own role on the earth. Good evening, Chinanya. Nice to have you. All right. So we're just rounding up, and this is ending up being a recorded session, more or less. Hello, Ima. How are you doing? I greet you, sir. So we've just spoken about focus, the first law of success. And I was mentioning that these are thoughts that I shared in the book, If I Were to Live Again, briefly and with certain examples. This is the kind of course. If I want to say that while this may be very, very relevant to those who are starting out in life, if you find yourself in the Middle Ages and you find that you need to refocus, you need to redefine your life. Some of us need to redefine, need to step back outside. We're too consumed with, so consumed with activities that we have not taken them to step back and say, okay, what is important to the eventual outcome? What business is important? What pursuit, what association is important to the eventual outcome of my life? We need to step back at a certain stage in our lives and ask, okay, am I heading in the direction I should be heading? Your vision, your end goal determines that focus. Not every friend is necessary. Not every relationship is necessary. Not every business association is necessary. Not every investment is necessary. Not every opportunity is for you. Not every idea is for you. Some ideas, they're probably given to you for other people, and you need to share them. So if we find in our lives that we have missed it in the past, and we find that we have, if you evaluate and say, for the past 10 years, hello Alex, how are you doing? Nice to have you here. For the past 10 years, I've been doing such and such and such, and it's not adding up. It's not, building up the story building of our lives, you need to step back and say, what do I need to cut off? What am I spending excess money on that is not adding up to the eventual outcome? What am I spending excess time on that is not adding up to the eventual outcome that I desire for my life? Who am I spending time with that is not adding up to the eventual outcome? This thing I'm involved in, is it part of my role on the earth? Now, you know, when we talk about focus, if you target a specific set of things and apply energy on them for a sufficient amount of time, you will get results. I mentioned before that on this planet, the people that we look up to, they are known for a specific set of things. And we need to identify what we need to be known for in order to be significant in our own right. Focus, first law. Very important. What I'm telling you now is not the easiest thing to do. It's not the easiest thing to do because there are so many threats that come up every now and then. I still call them threats. Something new comes up and they tell you, if you don't join the wagon now, you miss it. You miss it. But you think to yourself, is this really part of what I'm supposed to be doing on earth? You pursue that. When you pursue that new fad, it lasts for a while and then it's silent. And then you're back to square one. You've wasted time, energy, money, resources, mental energy, physical energy, and then you come back and then another fad shows up and you pursue again. The reason is you have not defined your end goal, or you have not determined the discipline of sticking to activities that add up to the end goal. No matter what is happening around you, no matter what suggestions people are bringing, your ability to stick to your end goal is an effort that is determined by your ability to discipline yourself and say, no, this activity is not for me. You don't have to get you yourself, when you bring an idea to someone and it tells you, no, this is not what I've planned for the next 2 years. It has happened to me before. I share an opportunity with someone and say, no, this is not what I've planned. I respected him for the fact that he has a plan and he knows that what I'm sharing with him is not part of his plan. There's no point getting involved in something that is not part of your life plan just because it's a new fad, or because you want to preserve a relationship, because you like somebody. No, you need to identify this activity that this guy is suggesting to me. Is it part of my life plan? It is so important to do that. Is it part? Don't be pushed by what do I call it? Dire situations or situations where you are under some kind of pressure, economically or otherwise. Don't be under that kind of pressure. Otherwise, you will exert energy unnecessarily. Follow your path. Some people say it's stay in your lane, so to speak. It's critically important. But if you're able to stay in your lane for a sufficient amount of time, by the time you look back, you discover you have accomplished a lot of things in that area, one step at a time. One step at a time. You have accomplished a lot of things in that area. And I said it before, I want to say it again. When I say that area, you need to find it for yourself. Somebody doesn't define it for you. What is good for one may not be good for all. What one person has capacity to accomplish in a particular area is not necessarily what everybody must do. Do not get into that frame of mind where everybody can do this. True. It's not true. Not everybody can do everything successfully. Let me give a case in point. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Simple. Not everyone can work in a company. Not everyone can handle wealth. Not everyone can be a parent. So you don't make people uncomfortable with their life. Not everyone can be married. Not everyone needs to be married. You don't make people uncomfortable with their life situation by your own definition. Let people find what they are supposed to be applying their life and time to and gradually grow it. That's what focus is. Identify those things that are adding up. There may be many things, but you must be able to tie them together and know that by the time I put all these aspects together, this is where it's headed. If that is not happening, if what you are doing, the things you're involved in are not, leading up to an eventual end goal, you are probably wasting time in one or most things. And maybe you're wasting other resources. You could be wasting money, wasting time, wasting energy, wasting mental energy. I mean, all sorts. And we said that these resources, a lot of them, particularly time, they are not replaceable. They are not replaceable. So wherever you are at life now, I'm rounding up. Wherever you are in life now, what you need to do is to look at your past or your present as if it's a past that you're looking at from the time you are ending your life. And ask yourself, what have I built with my life? This requires some level of being deliberate. This requires the ability or capacity to say no to some suggestions, opportunities, friends, whatever. No, this requires some discipline, that you're able to picture your life as it is now, the way it is going from the distant future, and determine the things that I'm involved in now, are they adding up to the end goal? Right. Do not follow opportunities blindly. I assess the opportunities to know whether they are adding up to your end goal. All right, so I'm rounding up. I started this session by describing what the magnifying glass can do to a piece of paper with the light or the heat from the sun. And I talked about it in my book, If I Were to Live Again. And I also give the example of where the topic of this session was derived from. Focus, the first law of success. It was mentioned by Poggio Yamadi to us in a teaching some years ago. Focus, the first law of success. And it stuck with me. And I said that there are many friends, many opportunities, many ways to become significant. You must identify your path. And in order to identify your path and to self-actualize, you must identify your role on the earth. Your role is what you came here to do. Your role determines your vision, and your long-term vision determines your day-to-day activities. Any activities that is not adding up to your eventual vision, a waste of resources. And I said there can be many kinds of resources: time, mental energy, physical energy, and even money. And finally, I say don't let anyone put you under pressure, saying that you must follow a particular path or do a particular set of things. Analyze the lives of people who have become significant is not necessarily a particular set of things. Don't make people uncomfortable with their life situation. They have their role, their path, their vision, and you allow them to build up their life one step after another. Develop independent thinking. Don't let anyone constrain you and say, if you don't do what I say, you cannot become this or that. It is not true. Every breakthrough on the earth is as a result of people doing what other people did not do previously. Every academic study is based on what people did in the past. You are just recounting to others what somebody has done. So thank you for your audience today. If you have any comments or questions and you are online, it will be great to have it in the next 3 to 5 minutes, and then we wrap up the session for tonight. So I thank you, Pastor Michael Bangbadi, Mano Kramer, Chinenye, Alex. Thank you for stopping by. All right, so I hope it's been helpful, and if it has been helpful, do share it with someone who needs it. And remember, the ideas are from my book, If I Were to Live Again. It's available on Amazon, on Smashwords, and in some physical outlets here and there. Do get your copy and write me a review on the platforms, particularly on Smashwords. If you're in Nigeria, Nigeria doesn't have Amazon, so on Smashwords you can write me a review. On Amazon you can write me a review if you're in other parts of the world. Thank you very much. So I'll end the session now, and God bless you. Stay focused, and maybe you need to find out what your role is from God on the earth. Thank you.